The movie begins with Chris heading to a very important job interview. The road is completely blocked, and if he waits, he won't make it on time. He decides to turn back and take a different route, though he has a feeling he might get lost. Chris comes across an abandoned gas station and meets an old man inside. He asks if there's an alternative route. The old man says no, but Chris notices a map and discovers another road that could get him to his job faster. It turns out the old man knows there is danger on this route, but he does not warn him. Chris drives along the new road. He encounters a fork in the road, takes the left turn, and suddenly he sees a dead donkey lying in the middle of the road. He stares at it while driving and then crashes into another car. Inside that car are 5 young people: Jesse, Carly, Scott, Evan, and Francine. They explain their tires were punctured by barbed wire, no spare tires left. Stuck and with no signal, they decide to split into 2 groups. Chris, Jesse, Carly, and Scott go into the forest to find help, while Evan and Francine stay behind to guard the car. As they move through the forest, they notice a fire burning, a sign someone else is present. Meanwhile, Francine discovers Evan is missing. She follows a trail, finds his sneaker, and then his severed ear. Terrified, she calls out, but hears nothing. Suddenly, a huge creature ambushes her, wraps her in barbed wire, and kills her. Chris and the others stumble upon a filthy house. They peek inside and are horrified. The cabin contains jars of human teeth, piles of bloody organs, knives, dirty glasses, car keys, barbed wire, and bloody clothes. They realize these are the same kinds of barbed wire that punctured their car. As they try to escape, a truck honks outside. One of the cannibals enters and throws the barbed wire he's carrying onto the couch where Chris and Jesse are hiding. Jesse sees her friend, wrapped in the wire, dead. She and Chris struggle to stay completely silent, making no sound. Carla and her boyfriend hide in the room. Through the peephole, they see one of the cannibals cutting their friend with a knife. After a while, the cannibals inside the house fall asleep. Chris and Jesse quietly come out from under the couch, one by one, careful not to wake the person sleeping on it. Carla and her boyfriend also leave the room and see a table in front of them with their friend cut into pieces. Horrifying. They decide to go to the door to open it, but someone has to hold the door spring to avoid making noise. Chris holds the door spring with his hand, while Jesse and the rest of their friends sneak out. Suddenly, one of the monsters who was sleeping wakes up. They discover he is not an ordinary human, but a monster that eats human flesh. Chris removes his hand from the door spring, and he runs with his friends, climbing a slope next to the house. From there, they see the monsters get into their car and drive off to search for them. Carla is terrified, but her boyfriend Scott reassures her, saying they will survive and get married. They continue moving and discover a wide area full of cars, apparently abandoned for a long time. They see the monster's car approaching, so they hide among the vehicles. The monsters get out and start walking toward them. The men decide one of them must run in a direction, make noise to distract the monsters so the rest of the group can escape. The rest of the group begins to run. Chris sacrifices himself, running quickly, calling out to attract the monsters. One of the monsters catches him. A bullet hits his leg, causing him to fall. The monster moves toward him to kill him. Scott runs in the other direction to distract them, leaving Chris behind. Carla and Jesse go to Scott, who has tied his leg with a belt. They take him and head toward the monster's car, getting inside and driving away. On the way, Scott is attacked by one of the monsters, who shoots 3 arrows into his back, killing him. They escape in the car, and Carla breaks down crying because her boyfriend has died. The car they were driving got stuck in the mud. So they got out to continue on foot. Chris stepped on a trap that could have killed him, but thankfully, he survived. After a while, they found a watchtower. They climbed it, hoping to find a radio to call for help. From the window, they couldn't see the main road they had come from. All around them, nothing but green, endless trees. Inside, they found a first aid kit. Jesse used it to bandage Chris's wound. Then they found a radio. They tried calling for help, but no one responded. At that same moment, the three monsters were searching for them. Suddenly, someone answered the radio, loudly. The monsters heard it and started climbing the stairs toward them. So Chris grabbed a large box and placed it against the door, blocking it. Meanwhile, Carla was speaking to the officer on the radio. She said she didn't know where they were. The officer reassured her, saying they were on their way, and asked her to wait a little longer. The monsters couldn't break through the door, so they surrounded the tower. Carla panicked, broke the glass window, and decided she would jump to end it all, to escape the horror. The others tried to stop her, but Chris looked down and told her, "You're right, we really have no choice. Jumping is the only way out." Chris jumped first, and though the distance was very far, he managed to grab onto a tree. Then Carla jumped and held on to the tree as well, followed by Jesse. But one of the monsters climbed after them, trying to reach the same tree. They attempted to cross to another tree, but Carla froze. She was too afraid to move forward, afraid she would fall. The monster came up right behind her, and with an axe, it chopped off her head. The monster turned, heading toward Jesse and Chris. Chris quickly grabbed a thick branch of the tree. He pulled it back with all his strength and released it suddenly. The branch struck the monster with force, sending it flying off the tree. After that, they continued moving across the trees, climbed down, and reached a waterfall, where they found a small cave nearby and hid inside. Inside the cave, Jessie began telling Chris about her friends. She said how deeply sad she was and how she believed it was her fault that they had died so brutally. Earlier that morning, she had received a message from her boyfriend. He told her he didn't want to continue the relationship. Heartbroken, she went to her friends to tell them what had happened, and because they loved her, they decided to take her out to help her get out of the situation. But then, what happened, happened. Chris told her, "It's fate, it's destiny." He took her in his arms, and they slept until the next day. In the morning, they continued walking until they saw the main road. But suddenly, a monster threw an axe at them. Chris tried to strike it, but he fell down the slope. The monster grabbed Jesse. At that moment, Chris saw a police car approaching. He stopped it. The officer inside said they had tracked the location from where they had called and came to help. The monster began explaining what had happened, but before he could finish, a monster attacked the officer. It struck him directly in the eye, killing him instantly. The monster searched around the police car for Chris, but it couldn't find him because Chris was hiding in the trees. The monster dragged the officer's body, stuffed it inside the trunk of the car, and then climbed inside to drive away. But before leaving, Chris slid under the car and held onto it tightly from beneath. The monster reaches the house, and Chris crawls out from under the car. Inside, he finds Jessie tied up, and the monsters are about to cut her apart. Chris sets the window on fire, and while the monsters are distracted looking at the blaze, Chris drives the car straight into the house, running over one of them. Then he throws a Molotov cocktail at another one, but it doesn't affect him at all. Then Chris grabs a sharp tool and stabs the monster in the stomach several times until it finally dies. He starts untying Jesse's hands, but he doesn't make it in time because the monster that he ran over with the car is still alive. That monster grabs Chris, throws him away, and is just about to kill him. At the last second, Jessie frees her other hand completely, grabs a bow, and shoots an arrow straight into the monster's head, killing it instantly. Another monster comes at Chris, but Chris grabs a heavy iron chain and strangles it tightly around its neck until it dies. Then, Chris picks up a rifle, but he sees that all 3 monsters are still moving. The rifle has only 1 bullet left. Thinking quickly, Chris steps outside, aims, and fires that 1 bullet directly into the gas tank of the car he had driven inside. The gas tank explodes, causing the entire car and the house to blow up in a massive fireball with the monsters inside. After that, Chris and Jessie take the monster's car and drive away. They arrive at the gas station, where the old man notices them coming. The old man hides in fear, thinking that the ones inside the car are the monsters. But he is shocked when he sees Chris stepping out of the car, taking the map, and then leaving again with Jessie in the car. At the very end, after the house has burned down completely, we see that one of the monsters is still alive and moving.